Now, we just went through pretty hot and dry summer. We've barely had any rain this fall as well. So what should we expect this winter? White Christmas, green Christmas, and what does Nina? It's La Nina, isn't it? We got some weather systems to talk about. I am someone that is not a meteorologist, so let's go to someone who is. From Environment Canada, senior meteorologist Dave Phillips is with us. David Phillips, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Elias, very much. Boy, you've described the weather so well. Very dry. That's concerning to me. I see, what a weekend. My gosh, Sunday, 22 degrees. I mean, that's 10 degrees warmer than normal. I mean, I think people in Montreal are probably saying, we're going to pay for this. It's going to be a hot summer means a cold winter. No, it doesn't. But, boy, it is a lot of IOUs out there. And, of course, we see the rain coming next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days of rain, which is good news. You want the balance in life and a balance in weather. And we're really behind with regards to our precipitation in the fall, 38% only about what we've had so far. Temperatures have been about 2.5 degrees warmer than normal. So fall, which is a transition season, is really more summer-like than kind of winter-like. You haven't had a frost yet. Normally you've had one by now, and typically the first day with snow doesn't come usually about November the 8th, and I'm not sure that's going to happen this year. So I think you've got some good weather, but hey, and people in Quebec, Elias, I mean, there's a lot of people who like winter. The skiers, the snowmobilers, the ice fishers. I mean, you wouldn't want to have a canceled kind of a winter. And this is, you're right, it's La Nina. It's colder water in the Pacific, around the tropics. And that typically, based on the past, gives you a colder than normal winter. But things have changed. It's not the kind of predictor that it used to be. I'd go to the bank on, if you told me that La Nina, I'd say, okay, there'll be a colder and snowier winter in Montreal. And that used to be it. That was a sure thing. But in the last 10 years, something has really happened, and we're just not getting those kind of winters as we used to. We're not just as cold and white in Quebec as we used to be. So my sense is it's climate change. There's also a big Pacific blob. I mean, this is this warm pool of water in the Pacific. It's stretching 5,000 kilometers, and it's very warm. So it's kind of creating more uncertainty, confusion as to what kind of a winter are we going to have. Is the blob going to fight it out with La Nina? Is climate change going to get into the mix? So it really is very interesting. But, boy, a lot of uncertainty as what the winter is going to be like.
I think The Blob versus La Nina was a science fiction film back in the 70s.
Well, it sounds like Hollywood got in the way there.
So, listen, to me, Halloween has always been one of those days that I look at the calendar, and I just remember in the past, seemingly every year, like there'd be a day in October. Like it'd be October 15th or October 20th or the 23rd, and it'd be super warm. And I go, my goodness, we're going to have a great October. It's going to be warm on Halloween. And then Halloween would roll around and we're wearing our snowsuits on top of our Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
Now, last year was different. I want to point that out. Like last year, I think it was like 25 or 26 on Halloween in Montreal. So things are changing, I guess. But how do you view that? Those days on the calendar that indicate what's to come?
Yeah, I think Halloween's an interesting one. Elias, probably in the weather office, it's the most important day of the year. Boy, people, they want to know. I mean, because kids and parents and just trick-or-treaters around are saying, look, that's the day that we really want to know what the weather is. It depends on your costume, whether kids are going to go out, even what you're actually going to shell out on that particular night. And I remember about, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we canceled Halloween in Quebec. A huge, deadly windstorm came.
Yes.
And it was sad. Kids were really feeling they'd been let down, and then I think the next day it maybe was rescheduled. But boy, you're right. It's an important. But this is a time where the weather is very fickle and very fitful. You're getting the warm air is never too far away, and the cold air is never too far away. And when you get cold air mixing it up with warm air, Elias, you get wild weather, and the jet stream is right over top of you. So a lot of things can certainly happen. But I look at the next month and the next 2 months. Elias, and it is showing milder than normal. Now, I'm not talking about it, bring back the muscle shirts and tank tops, but because, October or November can be, my gosh, it can be as much as 12 or 13 degrees colder than September. So what we talk about as average in November is really a lot colder than what we call average in September because we're losing day. I mean, you're losing about 3 minutes a day of daylight. You're down to 10 hours, maybe 11 hours of daylight now compared to how much nighttime you have. So dark. You're losing it. It's just part of the physics of the atmosphere. But in terms of the next couple of months, I'm going to bet my money on the fact that it's going to stay like it has been, milder than normal.
David, it's worth David Phillips from Environment Canada wrapping up with him. Last winter, we got so much snow. I don't think I'm still over the fact of just how much the driveway, the shoveling, and it was relentless. And there was one point where I basically had to give up. And I just had to try and wedge my car in every day for the rest of the winter, right? So I could use a break, David. I'm going to say, you know what? I'll take a winter with a little less snow this time around. I have the scars from last winter.
Well, let me remind you, 2 winters ago, you had less snow than you normally had. Montreal was like Vancouver the winter. You had more fog and rain than snow. That was in the winter of 2024. You had how many days above, say, below minus 20 did you have? You had none. It never got below minus 20. Where last year, it got at least 4 or 5 of those days. And you had, my numbers tell me that you had some snow, Elias, but it wasn't record. It wasn't a lot more than you normally would get. It just may have fallen when you had to shovel it. Nature didn't sort of melt it.
Didn't we get 2 doozies?
We got all yourself.
We got like 2 doozies back to back.
Memory serves. I mean that's probably what your memory is. But when you look at the total for the whole winter, it didn't come. I mean, my gosh, when I look at when did snow first come, you had a trace of snow this time last year, but you didn't get a measurable amount until December the 4th. You went through all of November without any snow at all. And of course, you mentioned Halloween was great. It was snow-free and milder. And then, so the season was shorter. So therefore, maybe the shoveling was more concentrated when you did get the snow.
Yeah, it was just at the end there. It was the end. You're right. I think we were like, we were really lucky, and then probably too many of us have said, "Wow, this winter's been amazing," and then Mother Nature said, "Wait, not so fast."
Yeah, but it's good for the economy. Well, you bring skiers from all over the world, and people, that's how you handle winter. In Quebecers, they know how to handle winter. You don't just, migrate and hibernate. You don't sort of be shut-ins. You get out there and enjoy it and take it, and I think that helps it go faster.
David, I've heard this said before, and I agree with it. There's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing decisions for the weather.
Well, Elias, maybe that's why we spend more money on clothes than any other people in the world.
Yeah, we got to be ready for everything that Mother Nature throws at us.
Absolutely.
Hey, David, you're always so much fun to talk to. Thanks so much for coming on. Okay?
Oh, you're so welcome, Elias. Bye-bye now.
David Phillips, Senior Meteorologist over at Environment Canada.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years.
And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.